Live across North Texas and beyond, this is the Jenna Ryan Show.
Ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Little pink houses for you.
Jenna Ryan is a world-renowned speaker and thought leader, ranked in the 87th most influential person online by Fast Company magazine. Jenna Ryan has spoken to thousands around the world and is now speaking to you. So with all things real estate and beyond, here is Jenna Ryan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jenna Ryan Show. Welcome to this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I am here today. We're having fun. I'm Jenna Ryan, realtor with RE/MAX Dallas suburbs. I'm a working realtor, working hard to bring you this great radio show every Sunday from 11 to 12. And I always bring incredible guests with lots of information to help us in all different areas of our life. And this week is no different. I'm so excited. I have Dr. Amir Baluch with me today. Dr. Amir Baluch is a lot of things, okay? It's going to take me, I could talk about it the whole show, all the things he's done and does. But we're just going to start out with his best-selling book, Make It, Keep It. And this is the new rules of wealth preservation for doctors, but it's really wealth preservation for anyone, whether you are a doctor or not, whether you have a lot of money or whether you're just getting started. He talks about wealth preservation, and he's very much into it. And good morning. Good morning, Dr.
Thanks for having me here today.
Dr. Amir, that's what we're calling him. So Dr. Amir, he's an author, he's an entrepreneur, and he's an anesthesiologist. So he was also ranked with one of the most eligible men in Dallas. So I'm single, he's single, here we are. Ladies, he's in his 30s. He's a great, just email us or call in and ask questions, if you know what I mean. I'm just kidding. Okay, kind of. He also created a company called Funding Nest. Funding Nest is an organization that, I don't know, you're going to have to tell me, what is Funding Nest?
Pretty much it's just a way for people to take part in larger commercial real estate deals by partnering up with other people. So we pool money together and buy apartment complexes, retail strips, and then flip them.
Okay. So Funding Nest is like a syndicate. It's like a syndication, and people come together and buy commercial properties. You're not going to be dealing with like one little house for $100,000. You're going to be buying $1 million or more, $10 million apartment complex.
That's right.
What is the minimum investment for this Funding Nest?
Usually it starts around $50,000.
$50,000, and what are the general returns on the investment on Funding Nest?
Usually between 10 to 18%.
10 and 18%. So you guys, if you're not wealthy yet, this is a lot of ways. This is a way that a lot of wealthy people pull their funds together, and are able to purchase apartment complexes, commercial properties, and they're able to make profit with their money because Dr. Amir, am I right or am I right? The stock market is not the best way to go right now.
That's right, for a lot of reasons.
The stock market, I was thinking of Bernie Madoff, that's one reason. And, also the fall of the stock market back in whenever that happened, a few years ago. And it's just not necessarily the best way to invest your money. Real estate is really where it's at.
That's what I feel. I've been telling that to a lot of my friends, and they start investing in real estate and really don't look back.
Once you get going, now your dad. Okay, so tell us your story. So you're an anesthesiologist. Why did you get into this make it, keep it mentality?
Well, my dad was a doctor. He was an internal medicine doctor, and I saw him working hard, making money, taking care of patients. And then when I was in college, I was kind of asking him, hey, how we saved up a lot of money, what's going on? And I had my first financial advisor. Of course, he's asking me if my dad has a financial advisor.
Right.
And so I was asking him these questions. I found out he really hadn't saved that much. He was actually in a lot of debt. And
whoa.
So he actually ended up losing all his money to the point where it really wasn't even worth practicing.
Oh, my goodness.
So that was kind of a life-changing time for me. So I went the opposite direction and learned as much as I could about investing and how to preserve wealth. And I would talk to so many people, and this is when I was about 19 years old.
Wow.
So I started looking into it, and all I knew was stocks and mutual funds and whatever the financial advisors were telling me.
I remember those days.
But luckily, a few years after that, I was introduced to a couple real estate investment trust managers, some other people that were involved in real estate, and they showed me the difference between investing in real estate and equities. So I sold actually all my stocks and bonds in around 2004 and started partnering up with large REITs and investing in commercial property and single-family properties.
Okay, I want to get to that, but let's just go back here. You started investing in stocks and bonds in 1999. Now, that was in the bubble. That was right in the middle of the bubble, or was it at the end of the bubble? The dot-com bubble.
It was around the beginning of it, toward the end.
Okay, yeah, towards the end, and everybody was like AOL, and everybody was really into investing in stocks, and then I was investing at that time, and you just watched your money go like this one day.
Right, it was either flat
down.
or going down, and it kind of seemed like a waste of time for me. So,
right, it just wasn't the best option. And so then you're telling me you found out about REITs, real estate investment trusts. And, one of the things is, and I think a lot of people that I know that have difficulty is just letting someone else run your money. How do you know who to trust with your money?
Well, that's a good question. It's kind of hard to know what they're doing with the money. It's kind of hard to understand the risks. So you definitely want to have somebody that's very transparent, first of all. They can explain what's going on.
Okay.
Another thing, you want to have what we call an alignment of interest. So, for example, let's say if you have a financial advisor, they usually make around 1% whether you make money or not. So
right.
We would say there's not an alignment of interest because he's going to make money whether you do or not. And,
okay.
If we make money, he should make money. But if we lose money, they should lose money too. But it's not set up that way.
Right.
Versus when I was working with the REIT, we would all do profit sharing. So if I'm investing with a REIT or a private investor who are mentors of mine,
right?
We all make money together, or we would all lose money together. It wouldn't be double-sided.
Wow, that sounds much better. What are some of the REITs that you invested in here? It looks like you say 2005?
Pretty much most of them were through a company called the Lynn Company in San Antonio.
How do I spell that? Just curious.
LYND.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my friends was head of finance for that company, so that's how I got involved with them.
So you just chipped $50,000 in?
Yeah,
stuff like that?
They let me do a little bit less than that since I was just in medical school, but we all went to the same university.
Okay. So you would just put what is your investment strategy as someone who's making, say you're making $200,000 a year? How would you invest? What would you do?
Well, so everybody's going to be a little bit different. That's one of the reasons I wrote my book, so people could understand what their priorities are. So if somebody tells me what their priorities are, then I could kind of tell them how they should invest. For example, let's say somebody has a lot of changes coming up in their life.
Right.
They might need to have more liquidity.
Okay.
Well, real estate's not very liquid. It's not like a stock where you just push a button and tomorrow the money's back in your account.
Okay.
But let's say somebody has more than enough money coming in, their business is stable or their career is stable, they have excess cash, and they don't care to see it for the next couple of years, but they want something safer than stocks, but with higher returns based on that risk. Well, then it makes sense to do some real estate. Or if somebody wants to have passive income, there might be different real estate asset classes that give more cash flow versus, doubling your money in 3 to 5 years. So.
Okay, and that's something that you had brought up when we were talking on the phone. You had said, there's two different kinds of investments. There's active investing or passive investing. Is that
right?
Is that right?
So when I talk to somebody, a lot of times when I talk to doctors, they're really too busy to actually be active investors in anything. They don't want to knock on doors or go look at the apartment complex and look at the make and model of the washing machine that's in there. So
bird dogging. They don't have time for that, and they don't want to learn about that. Their minds are already filled with bones and tissue and technology. Right. You can only do so much.
So most of the time they can end up being passive, which is great anyway, because if you don't know exactly how to manage that investment, you probably shouldn't be active in it. You're probably going to get burned. So it makes sense for them to partner up with somebody that's doing it every day and get a passive return, it's going to be a lot safer for them to do that. And so by passive, I mean they're pretty much just putting their money into an investment that's been explained to them. They understand the risks, and they get a return on it. It's usually low double-digit returns in real estate.
Okay, that is very interesting. So here you are. You started investing in stocks before you even got out of med school. Then you learned no thank you stocks. The bubble burst, and you said, okay, I am going to do REITs. And then you went in and began to do real estate investment trusts, which means pooling your money together with a bunch of other people. And whenever you lose money, everybody loses money, and stockbrokers aren't making any money on you. Then you went and graduated medical school, and you became a board-certified anesthesiologist, and then you founded an investment club.
Right. So when I moved to Dallas, a lot of my real estate contacts were in Texas. Actually, I did anesthesia in Miami, so I was out of Texas.
Okay,
for a couple
in Miami.
Years. So I was happy to come back to Texas, and we founded an investment club. It's actually a brokerage also, and I think we're one of the only brokerages in the Metroplex that solely focus on real estate as an investment. And so we pulled together all of our resources under one umbrella just to help other people get involved in real estate as an investment. So sometimes they're investors, sometimes they're wholesalers, sometimes we have realtors, we have people that facilitate 1031 exchanges,
right.
We have tax advisors, everything under one roof.
Okay, and so you're doing that all under your investment club, and that doesn't have anything to do with the what was the thing you're doing? The fund,
the Funding Nest.
Yes, Funding Nest. What's the
Funding
difference between Funding Nest and 360 Investment
Club?
I
would think of Funding Nest just as the securities portal when people want to invest as partners in some of our large commercial real estate
syndicates.
Deals. Yes.
So Funding Nest is syndicates, and 360 Investment Club is a brokerage club. What's the difference between that and syndicate?
Well, so in a brokerage, we're doing one transaction at a time. If somebody wants to buy a rental property, for example, a turnkey rental is one of the things that we do. We have actually an inventory of rental property with tenants already in it that's cash flowing. If they want to buy one of those, they can. Or if they want to own a piece of property directly and not partner with somebody,
right?
That's what the investment club brokerage is for.
Last year, I had an investor reach out to me, and he said, I want to buy 9 properties that are ready to go, turnkey properties. Jenna, please find me, these properties. And we just went out and we found a package deal and got him the properties. And it's so nice. They were already set up. They were already rehabbed. They already had the management company, and it was a very smooth transaction. Is that something I could do with you?
Yeah, that's actually what we do. We get about 10 to 15 deals a day, kind of like that, either portfolio. We call them portfolio takedowns.
Portfolio takedowns. Okay.
So if somebody happens to want to liquidate for some reason, then we could. They usually give us first dibs on that, and then we either sell it or we buy it for ourselves.
That's totally awesome. Well, you guys, we've got to go to break. I hope that you guys will call in with questions for Dr. Amir at 214-787-1190. See you right after the break.
Are you thinking of buying or selling a home? If so, contact me, Jenna Ryan, with RE/MAX Dallas Suburbs. I was born and raised in Dallas, and I know every area and every suburb. If you're relocating to the area, downsizing, or upsizing, or buying your first home, I can help you find the home that's perfect for you. Contact me today at 972-510-9177 or go to my website at JennaRyanRealty.com. You can also email me at JennaRyanRealty@gmail.com. Whether you're buying or selling, I'm Jenna Ryan, your best friend in real estate. I have my own radio show, 25 years of sales experience, and a team of experts to help you with all of your real estate needs. Join me, Jenna Ryan, from 11 to 12 on Sundays, where we talk real estate on Talk Radio 1190.
Incredible ingredients make incredible meals. That's why Blue Apron partners with a community of over 150 artisanal suppliers, family-run farms, sustainable fisheries, and responsible ranchers across the United States. And that means Blue Apron can deliver fresh, seasonal, perfectly proportioned ingredients with easy-to-follow recipes right to your door for under $10 per person per meal. Log in each week to select the recipes you want to cook, or let Blue Apron choose based on your food preferences. With Blue Apron, there's no weekly commitment, so you only get deliveries when you want them. Rediscover how fun cooking can be while enjoying specialty ingredients and exploring new flavors and cuisines. When you cook with Blue Apron, you bring the best ingredients to your table while developing a sustainable food system for future generations. Join the growing community of Blue Apron home chefs today and get your first 3 Blue Apron meals free, plus free shipping at blueapron.com/better. That's blueapron.com/better. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Congratulations, Congressman Pete Sessions, as Texas Retailers Association's 2017 Federal Legislative Champion. We praise his support on issues affecting the communities we serve. Retail supports 1 in 4 jobs nationwide, including more than 3.5 million in Texas.
Little pink houses for you.
Welcome back to the Jenna Ryan Show on Talk Radio 1190 AM.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jenna Ryan Show. We're so glad to have you here with us on this beautiful Sunday. It's a beautiful day today. We've kind of gotten a reprieve from the heat over the past month or so. Oh, my goodness, it was so hot. I'm so glad it's not as hot. It's still hot, but not as hot here in Texas. I am Jenna Ryan. I'm a realtor. I'm a working realtor. Today, I literally am going to go list 2 homes and show a couple. So after the show, I'm working like any other realtor on a Sunday. So what does that mean? That means that you can call me and I will come out and talk to you about your property, selling your property, or helping you to purchase a home. And I talked to a gentleman I spoke to him this weekend, and he was like, I know I should be calling you to sell my house. And I'm like, I wonder if anybody else is thinking that. I'm sure there are other people that just know you should be calling me. Well, don't spare another moment. Just pick up the phone and give me a call. You can call me. Well, let me just give you my email, JennaRyanRealty@gmail.com. You can call me and I'll take care of all your home buying and selling. Okay, that's my commercial. Now, the phone lines are open. If you have any questions regarding investments, I'm here with Dr. Amir, the best-selling author of Make It and Keep It. He knows how to help you to keep your money and help you to figure out what investments you should be investing in. The phone lines are open at 214-787-1190. And I wanted to ask Dr. Amir, how did you arrange your book?
Well, there's so much information I wanted to give to people, and when I first wrote it, it was actually kind of sloppy, so I didn't even want to read it myself. But now we kind of have it organized with the help of one of my editors. So
okay.
the way it's kind of set up chronologically, for example, when somebody comes out of med school, what are their priorities, or residency? Then as they start making some income, and then later on when they're older, thinking about passing on their wealth. So at the beginning, we talk about just some investment basics, budgeting, what the definition of an investment is, and different things that they could invest in.
Right.
Then later on in the book, we get to the keep it part of the book. We talk more about wealth preservation. So that would be family limited partnerships, offshore trusts, life insurance policies, asset protection, something that every doctor really needs. So
absolutely. So let me ask you now, not all my audience is doctors. I have people that are high net worth people. Most people that watch talk radio are high net worth men, because that's who listens to talk radio, men over 50. And so hello, everyone out there listening to this show. If this is you, then maybe this is something that's interesting to you. But not everybody's doctors, but we do have doctors listening to the show. But what is a good investment for someone who is not everybody's making money like doctors?
Well, if anybody out there is listening and they live in the Dallas Metroplex,
yes,
it's a great place to buy single-family rentals, because there's multiple benefits to it. And I have people calling me from California and Florida wishing that they lived here. They're trying to buy property in Dallas. The reason I like single-family rentals is, one, you can leverage. You only need 20% down.
Okay.
And actually, there's ways you can actually buy rental property with 0 down.
How? Go ahead and tell us.
Well, I don't know if I can say it all online here, but maybe if in an email later on I could show them how. But if you buy some owner-occupied property, it ends up just being about 3.5% down is what you're going to need for FHA loan.
Really?
whether you decide to rent that out later or not is up to them. People can change their mind whether they're going to live in there or not. So it ends up being almost no money in there. But
okay, so that really was top of mind for you. You're saying
Right.
single-family rentals, and of course we've had a couple of shows about this. So let's really get into this. Whenever you're looking for a rental to purchase, what is your criteria?
So there's different ways to look at it. One simple criteria is, in case people don't like to do a lot of math, but you want a ratio of about 0.9 to 1 of the rent to purchase price. So that means if you have a $1,000 home that you're going to buy, what's 1% of that is going to be $1,000. So that thing better rent for $1,000 a month.
Okay, you mean a $100,000 home?
$100,000 home, it needs to rent for about $1,000 a month, which is 1% of the purchase price. A $250,000 home needs to be about $2,500 a month. And if you do that and you amortize it over 20 or 30 years, it just happens to cash flow a little bit at the current interest rate. So now there could be HOAs involved. There might be higher maintenance, things like that kind of can make it more complicated. But just as a simple rule of thumb, if you get a ratio of 0.9 to 1%, you're probably going to be okay.
And what is your ROI? Is that
So that's going to depend how much you leverage. So there are a couple ways to look at it. When we put together a little one-page 5-year pro forma. It's a 5-year projection of what their returns would be, and the minimum that we usually are seeing will be 12 to 15% annualized, with an internal rate of return, which means the average annualized over 5 years. Internal rate of return over 5 years can be in the low 20s.
okay? So you're providing these homes for people, and you're just selling them to them outright. You have bird dogs.
Right.
Which is a person that goes out and drives for dollars. We had a gentleman on, Lance Wakefield, who does about 30 of these per month 2 weeks ago. They drive, well, he does a lot of direct mail or driving for dollars, and you don't actually do that, but you have people in your organization that do that and that feed you with properties, and you know how to look at the properties and tell whether or not they're worthy of this 0.91%, and then you sell them. Well, where do you make your profit in that difference?
Well, we do when we work with wholesalers, we usually look for properties that will flip into rentals or just flip them to the market and sell them. So that's what our development company does. We flip properties, but I also hold some as inventory. And in fact, next week we should be setting up a $10 million rental fund for people that want to passively invest into all these rentals. We're going to take down, dozens of properties a month.
How do they know that their money is protected? Is this insured by the government or anything? I mean, how do you know you're not just throwing your money away?
Well, they can do some due diligence, and whenever we give out quarterly updates, they can look at the properties we have.
Okay.
They can go online and they can see that it's owned by our company, that we have ownership of it, or they could go to any title company and say, "Hey, who owns this company? When was it bought?" And they'd see that it was when we said it was bought and it was owned by us.
So if someone buys into this $1 million fund, what do they get as proof of ownership?
Well, they're going to get what's called a private placement memorandum.
Okay.
And they can get they buy units of the fund, so like membership units. And each unit is worth a certain percentage equity.
Okay.
And so that's one way to structure it. Another way some people structure it is straight debt. So people that want to be the bank and lend money just like the banks do. Sometimes we structure deals where, hey, here's straight 10%, here's straight 12% as debt, and we pay them that money, but then they don't participate in the equity.
That sounds complicated.
Well, it's not too bad. Let's say if you wanted to let me borrow, $1,000 or something like that.
Okay.
And then you say, okay, Amir, I'll let you borrow $1,000. Just pay me 10% annualized.
Okay.
We'll write up a contract, and I have to pay you 10%. But also, let's say if I don't pay you 10%, well, you have the property as collateral.
Okay.
So it's just like a bank would give you money if you want to buy a home for yourself, they'll give you the money at a certain interest rate, usually 4 or 5%, something like that. And if you don't pay, what do? They come after you and take the property. So now investors can do the same thing. Except instead of making 4 or 5% as the bank does, you can actually be making 10, 12%.
Okay, I think that the reason that the average person and a lot of people do not do this is because it sounds so scary and complex, and you feel like you don't really know what's going on, and you really have to understand it. And I think that's why you have your investment club.
That's part of it. We have training sessions for people that want to learn. The book explains a lot, and then people meet us at our office in Uptown, and we go through step by step, however long it takes. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes a couple of days of explaining, depending on who we're talking to. So,
but we're talking like if you're dealing with a doctor, this doctor is really, really busy, and they've got hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're just like, okay, I'll throw it against the wall, and hopefully it sticks. They're going to be less worried as me, little old me.
Right. So what you have to do is you have to understand where the risks are and what the benefits are. So it's easy to see what the benefit is. We have a projected return of, let's say, 10, 12%.
Right.
But what's the risk if, let's say you're doing a debt transaction and you're the bank, well, if you don't get paid, what's the collateral that you have? And that's one of the reasons I love real estate. You actually have collateral.
Because it's not like Bernie Madoff where, it's just like, okay, here's
just paper.
It's just paper.
You're investing in paper. This one, you're actually investing into a hard asset.
A hard asset, and you can actually see it. You can go down and see that the title is, the deed of record is on file and everything. Yeah. You guys, do you have any questions for Dr. Amir? He is here today helping us to figure out the maze of real estate investing. That's his specialty, simply because he has found it's better than stocks and bonds. And that's a really interesting topic, especially since I'm a realtor and I would love to help you find rentals, and I can help you find these good rentals. I can't wait till we get back from break. I'm going to ask you a question about rentals. See you guys right after this break.
Are you thinking of buying or selling a home? If so, contact me, Jenna Ryan, with RE/MAX Dallas Suburbs. I was born and raised in Dallas, and I know every area and every suburb. If you're relocating to the area, downsizing, or upsizing, or buying your first home, I can help you find the home that's perfect for you. Contact me today at 972-510-9177 or go to my website at JennaRyanRealty.com. You can also email me at JennaRyanRealty@gmail.com. Whether you're buying or selling, I'm Jenna Ryan, your best friend in real estate. I have my own radio show, 25 years of sales experience, and a team of experts to help you with all of your real estate needs. Join me, Jenna Ryan, from 11 to 12 on Sundays, where we talk real estate on Talk Radio 1190.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
The kids are not listening to me.
I got this. Who wants ice cream?
Oh, so that's how you get them to listen.
With available powerful third-row seats in the Ford Explorer, there's always more room for the whole family. And then some.
Impressive, huh?
No, not really.
Wait, who are the two in the third row?
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event.
It's always a good time.
Now with summer's hottest offer, get 0% financing for 72 months on select Fusion, Escape, Mustang, and Explorer models. Plus, get $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends July 31st. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month for $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade-assist cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after new retail delivery. Not available on Mustang Shelby, GT350, GT350R. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by July 31st, 2017.
If you've been injured in a car accident, don't wait. Pick up the phone and call the law boss. Car accident attorney Michael Uvalli. Available 24/7. Hurt in a wreck? Fight for your check. Call 1-800-LAWBOSS or go to lawboss.com.
Welcome back to the Jenna Ryan Show.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us today. I am Jenna Ryan, realtor with RE/MAX Dallas Suburbs. I shall be opening my own brokerage here any minute now as soon as I get the paperwork from Trek. And until then, I'm with Remax Dallas Suburbs, and I'm selling houses like a wild woman. Today, after this show, I'm literally going to list 2 homes. I have 2 signs in the back of my X5 and 2 lock boxes, and we're going to put those on those homes, and they're going to go for sale today, and then I'm going to show a house today. If you are looking to purchase a home or sell your home, I always have time for you. I will make time personally to come out and give you a free analysis of your home and tell you how much we can get for it. I'm here today with the awesome Dr. Amir Baluch, author, best-selling author of Make It, Keep It. He is an anesthesiologist, an entrepreneur, and an investment expert, a best-selling author. He was also ranked, one of the top eligible bachelors in Dallas. So, you guys.
I was playing matchmaker.
Yes, I'm always playing matchmaker, and I need to start with myself. So anyway, so here we are, and we're talking about, I was asking him, okay, so I have a house that's actually going on the market in a couple weeks, and it's going to be about $189. Should I purchase, and it's in McKinney, should I purchase that house? And what did you say to that?
Well, if you're trying to buy it as a rental.
A rental.
Okay. So we definitely have to confirm that the rental rate is around 1% plus or minus 0.1 of the purchase price. Then we put that, it's actually like a 5-page Excel file, but we crunch it down to 1 page. It'll calculate the rental rate. But as long as there's no HOAs involved and the taxes aren't through the roof,
right,
there's not heavy maintenance involved, you're probably going to be cash flowing on that by a little bit. And your cash on cash return over 5 years will probably be, I'm guessing, in the high teens.
Okay, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
So you're okay.
Because when you compare it to stocks, people are taking way more risk with stocks and averaging around 8%.
Okay.
So that's kind of the benchmark for everybody. They compare it to stocks.
Okay, so this house, it's going to go for top dollar. People are going to compete for it, and I'm thinking they'll get 200, hopefully 220 or something like that. And I'm sure that it'll probably be rented out. I just wanted to know if that's really worth it, at the end of the day, if they're going to cash flow. But there's also other benefits rather than cash flow whenever you're buying a rental, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tax benefits too. So, in fact, just in real estate in general, we call it a little bit of a trifecta because you can cash flow, you have tax benefits, and you have the appreciation. So you have all three in one type of an investment. It's pretty awesome. But for the tax benefits, a lot of people have heard the term depreciation. So what that means is, let's say that $200,000 house you're talking about.
Right.
When you buy it, the note is probably for about 30 years.
Okay.
So you're paying off around 3% of the home a year. Kind of how you look at it. So the government will allow you to depreciate 3% of that a year. So what's 3% of $200,000? About $6,000.
Okay.
So you can apply $6,000 of depreciation toward your taxes every year that you have that house.
So it's like a write-off there?
It's a write-off. So imagine, let's say if you made positive cash flow of $6,000 on that rental property,
right,
but you depreciated at $6,000, how much money are you going to pay in taxes on your cash flow? You're actually not going to pay anything because it cancels out. So it's almost like you're getting a little bit of tax-free money while you're cash flowing.
You just made it clear to me. It's finally sinking in. I have a friend who, I'm not going to name any names, but this person is just rich. I mean, he has the first dollar he ever made, I guarantee it. I promise you. And he's rich as can be and owns several rental properties. And he's like getting refunds back from the IRS. Is that for real? Is that possible?
It's possible. So, I mean, you could actually have an LLC or some type of a company that holds rental properties and be running it negative because all the depreciation. So if you have enough depreciation on the property, in fact, if you have larger properties, there's something called cost segregation, which you can do, which a lot of people don't know about. But if anybody takes part in commercial real estate, it's really, really important to know. It's a little trick that people with large commercial properties do to accelerate depreciation. So
wow. Okay. Very interesting. And the more I hear about it, the more it goes through my head, the more I learn. You just have to study this stuff, right, and you can't, just it doesn't come by osmosis. You have to really focus on it and learn about it so that you can hold onto your wealth. A lot of Americans were not taught these things in school. We're very ignorant when it comes to money. It's like the upper classes maybe wanted us to be ignorant when it comes to money, but all the information is right there in front of your face. You just have to not be afraid and just grab hold of the bull by the horns and get a mindset of, hey, I'm a wealthy person and I can hold on to my wealth, because it is a lot about mindset. Would you not agree?
I agree 100%.
It's a mindset thing. You've got to have the mindset. You have to visualize and understand that you deserve to keep your wealth. You deserve to quit throwing money away on things that don't matter, on status symbols, and you need to budget, right?
That's right. That's the first part of our book, actually.
Right, because I'm sure doctors go out and they're like, okay, I want to buy this $700,000 house or whatever, and that is just throwing money. Four air conditioners. Some of these homes have 4 air conditioners. Now, do doctors really need that, or does that really help their business?
Well, they probably don't need as much as they buy, but the banks love to give them the money, and they send letters to them every day. Hey, you're pre-approved for $1.5 million. So
absolutely,
they don't have to max out what they can buy once they get the pre-approval. They don't have to. If you're pre-approved for $800,000, doesn't mean you have to buy $800,000 house. But people like to buy big houses, I guess.
And I do. I mean, I love selling big houses, so I don't want to cut myself off here. I think that if you're living in an $800,000 house, all your kids are grown. You need to sell that house and call Jenna and email me, JennaRyanRealty@gmail.com, because it's time to downsize. Get you a 1-story, something, much more affordable, and keep your money so you can go and raise, and turn it into millions more. Okay, so tell me, what is 1031 exchange?
So the 1031 exchange is an internal revenue code number that talks about how you can, when you sell a property, how you can defer taxes on it. And just as a quick disclaimer, I'm not an attorney or an accountant here, but we've helped people get through 1031 exchanges before, so I can talk a little bit about it. But let's say you have that $200,000 house.
Okay.
You buy it for $200,000. Then in 5 years, it's worth $300,000. You're going to sell it.
Okay.
Through Jenna Realty.
Yes, Jenna Ryan Realty.
Then, so you're about to make $100,000, but you don't want to pay taxes on that. So what you do is you find what's called a 1031 exchange intermediary. It's pretty much just like an escrow account. They're going to hold that $100,000 property for you.
Okay.
Now, as long as you can put that money into another piece of property that's similar to the one you sold, you
like
kind, you don't have to pay taxes on that $100,000. So with $100,000, that could be 20% down on a $500,000 apartment complex.
Okay.
Or maybe, you split it up and buy 2 or 3 rentals with that $100,000. As long as you close the deal within half a year, you're good. And you have to identify those properties within 45 days of closing.
45 days, yes.
Yeah, you have to identify it and have it in writing. I'm going after these properties before 45 days end, and then you got the rest of the 6 months to close on it.
Okay, I didn't know you had 6 months to close. So you have to have it under contract within 45 days.
Yeah, or at least identify it. So once it's identified, let's say you don't put it under contract until day 50, that's okay. As long as the intermediary knows that you have identified it and you said, hey, I'm going to buy this one.
Okay, and this is highly regulated. We are not CPAs or any of that. And you have to have a qualified intermediary to do the 1031 exchange. And you have to, and I love talking about it because I know a lot about it because I did a lot of work with an oil and gas company. You have to purchase like kind. So you can't buy oil and gas, I think, with, I don't know, but check this out.
You have to stay in the same asset class pretty much. So if you're buying, real estate, if you're selling real estate, you need a 1031 exchange into real estate. You can't 1031 exchange into, stocks or oil and gas membership or anything like that.
Can stocks be in a 1031 exchange?
No. From what I know, no.
Okay. So now let's talk about taxes, saving money on taxes. We've already hit a little bit on that. The 3 benefits of rental properties, which is cash flow, tax benefits, and depreciation. But what about in general? You were saying with passive income, taxes.
Right. So the two other ways that you could save on taxes, we already talked about depreciation. We talked about 1031 exchange. We can also talk about how you're taxed, how your cash flow is taxed, and also how to make depreciation go faster, which is cost segregation. So for taxes, let's say if you have that $200,000 home and you're getting $2,000 of rent, and maybe you're making, $400 or $500 a month in cash flow, something like that.
Sweet.
Well, instead of being taxed at your ordinary income bracket, since it's passive, you only pay a flat rate of 20%.
Whoa, that is really awesome.
So imagine if you have all this cash flow coming in at hopefully less than your tax bracket would be, you're actually saving some money on taxes that way.
Well, a lot of people, me included, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about having rental property because I am so afraid that they're going to have broken toilets in the middle of the night and the AC is going to break and then I'm going to be stuck with all of these horrible things that need to be done and the headache of them not paying their rent, having to evict them. How do you deal with those problems?
Well, we used to manage it ourselves, but now we use multiple third-party managers for sure.
Third-party managers.
But also when we put together that 5-year projection, we put into the calculations 1 month of vacancy, automatic from the beginning. We put in there 1 month of maintenance cost. So a $200,000 home, plan on having $2,000 a year in maintenance costs. Mm-hmm. And we put in all those numbers there to kind of buffer the pro forma in case those things you have longer vacancies or extra maintenance. And then if it still makes money after that, that's when we actually say, okay, this is a good rental.
Okay, what is a good average price for a rental home? Is it 100,000, 150?
It's going to depend on the market, but for the Metroplex, actually, what we see is the sweet spot for rental property, if you're looking at overall internal rate of return, is going to be homes that are around $80,000 to $160,000 because those still have the ability to go up. Those are pretty affordable, so the value goes up a lot, up to around $250,000 to $300,000. That's when the values start to plateau and it becomes a little bit unaffordable. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot of appreciation, and the rental rates go up a lot, and it's still affordable for a lot of people to rent when you're in that price range. So that's kind of in the Metroplex at least. That's the bread and butter zone. If you're in New York, I don't even think you can get a studio for that. So
right. Wonderful information. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
Are you thinking of buying or selling a home? If so, contact me, Jenna Ryan, with RE/MAX Dallas Suburbs. I was born and raised in Dallas, and I know every area and every suburb. If you're relocating to the area, downsizing, or upsizing, or buying your first home, I can help you find the home that's perfect for you. Contact me today at 972-510-9177 or go to my website at JennaRyanRealty.com. You can also email me at JennaRyanRealty@gmail.com. Whether you're buying or selling, I'm Jenna Ryan, your best friend in real estate. I have my own radio show, 25 years of sales experience, and a team of experts to help you with all of your real estate needs. Join me, Jenna Ryan, from 11 to 12 on Sundays, where we talk real estate on Talk Radio 1190.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/sleep and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/sleep.
In the middle of our street, our house, in the middle of my
Phone lines are open at 214-787-1190. Here's Jenna Ryan.
Product placement. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Jenna Ryan Show. We're here today with Dr. Amir, a best-selling author of Make It, Keep It, The New Rules of Wealth Preservation for Doctors, but also for every one of us. He just does so many things. He has Funding Nest, which does syndicates for people who want to have more wealth. He has the 360 Investment Club, in which he helps people if you're looking for rentals to purchase. And we're going to dig in a little bit and dive a little deeper here regarding how asset protection and how to self-direct your IRA. So let's say I have, $50,000, $100,000 in my IRA, and it's all invested in stocks. How can I do a self-directed IRA?
Okay, well, if it's all directed in stocks, definitely I'd have to sit down and talk to you about that. but a lot of people.
What else would they do?
Well, so this is a tricky thing. Let me give a little background about why everybody owns stocks in their retirement portfolio. So financial advisors, they have a securities license, just like I have a securities license.
You have a securities license.
Right. So you're only allowed to get commissions on certain products, which is stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. So why would they ever try to tell you to invest in something other than what they can get commission on? And
they're also going to be against you doing a self-directed IRA, so watch out.
Yes, because you're pretty much taking food off their plate.
All right.
So, but see, that's why you have to have your interest of alignment, like we talked about at the beginning.
Interest of alignment, where they're making money when you're making money.
Right. So,
or losing when you're losing.
So what does it mean if you self-direct your IRA? Some people call it checkbook IRA. You could really take some of your money in your IRA and put into a bank account. For example, mine is at BB&T.
Okay.
You get a checkbook, and if I want to invest in real estate, I literally can write a check for a piece of property, and the returns will go into the real estate. Now, you can't own it. You can't own it directly. You have to be a passive investor. But imagine you're getting consistent 10, 12, 15% return by having real estate inside of your retirement account.
2 questions. Okay, let's see if I can remember both of these. Okay, so one is, do you have to have an intermediary? Do you have to have somebody that says, here's your stamp of approval, this is your self-directed IRA? Does it need to be set up with forms? Does it need to be set up by somebody licensed?
Well, what you have to do is you have to have a custodian that allows alternative investments. So if you're with Morgan Stanley or Chase or whoever is holding your IRA, the custodian probably doesn't allow it. So there are these niche companies out there, and I have a whole list of them on my website too.
What is your website?
BaluchBulletin.com.
BaluchBulletin.com. I have signed up for his weekly, I hope it's weekly, weekly newsletter at Baluch. How do we spell that?
BALUCH, then Bulletin, BULLETIN.com.
BaluchBulletin.com, and then he can help you find these custodians where you can take your money and purchase a home or purchase other assets rather than stocks and bonds. Okay. Right. And so you're saying you cannot own it directly, but you must own it passively. What is the difference actually?
Well, so let's say you have a house in Miami and you want to buy it in your retirement account because you're going to use it every once in a while. That's a little bit too direct. You're directly owning it. But let's say I owned it or somebody else owned it, and you want to invest into that property through a syndicate, for example.
Okay.
And that syndicate that security will give you a certain return, 10, 12, 15%. That'll go directly into your IRA. So you're completely passive. You're not on the property. You're not, checking out the ocean views on that rental or whatever it is.
But
or that commercial
you
property.
Can't? I mean, it's not even legal to do it?
Correct.
You have to invest in a syndicate where other people own it in order to do?
Well, another way to do it is you can have an LLC in your IRA.
Okay.
And that way you could own it directly, so your IRA will own it, but you have to have third-party management, and the type of financing you have to get is called non-recourse, which usually requires 40 to 50% down.
Yeah.
So some people do that with multifamily, though, and they end up getting 9-10% return if they put 50% down on a multifamily. So that's another way to do it. So you had to set up a company that your IRA owns, and that company sets up a bank account, and that company gets the loan for about 50% down, and then all the cash flow from it goes to your IRA. That's another way to do it too. But 90% of people are usually doing it to invest in syndications.
Okay. They're investing in syndications. And are there any crooks out there with the syndication thing?
There probably will be. Luckily, I haven't ran into them. But the most important thing is when they're doing a syndication, you had to see, are they actually performing a security? So whenever you're raising capital for a deal, you have to actually go through the SEC.
Okay.
You should have either a broker-dealer involved or an investment advisor.
Okay.
Something that's going with a security license. If it's just somebody putting together some paperwork, it's his first time doing it, it's kind of like wild, wild west. And there are some people doing it right now because so many people are getting into, quote unquote, crowdfunding and all that nonsense. So, but there are professionals out there, and you could check them out online. All of our stuff is with SEC. You could look at all of our deals, for example. So we all go through broker dealers.
Okay, because it's not necessarily regulated yet because there haven't been a bunch of people ripped off, I guess. And people are moving to real estate investing from the stock market.
Right. Actually, they sent out the most amount of fines ever last year in 2016 for people trying to do the quote-unquote crowdfunding. They were just not doing it correctly, which it's just another name for syndication, but it's kind of like a buzzword, but it's really just doing a syndication online is all they're doing.
Interesting. Okay, so asset protection. How does somebody keep their retirement? What's your advice there?
Well, we live in a very litigious society.
Right.
And it's true for everybody, not just doctors. People will sue you over spilling a cup of coffee on them. So eventually, if you own any real estate or if you own anything, they're going to try to come after you. So
that's horrible.
So how do you protect it? Well, one of my favorite ways to do it is it's called a family limited partnership.
Okay.
And just a disclaimer, I'm not an attorney.
Right.
Say that again.
We don't have any attorneys on the show today. We're just talking.
Okay. But let's say I put together a company, me, my brother.
What is that called again? Family?
FLP, Family Limited Partnership.
Okay, got it.
So pretty much the way it's structured is that, let's say as an example, me, my mom, and my brother, we have a company, and we put all our assets into it.
Okay.
And then somebody tries to sue me. They're like, yeah, I'm going to sue you for everything because you looked at me funny.
Right.
So then an attorney say, okay, well, we're going to take all your assets, and then you need to liquidate your real estate holdings. But, in order to do that, since I've got 3 people in my company and the other 2 are my mom and my brother, it takes a majority vote to decide if we're going to sell something in that partnership.
Okay.
Well, my family's not going to – they're going to do what's in my best interest and not sell it, right?
Right.
So how are they ever going to get a hold of my assets? They really can't.
Right.
So
that's if you get along with your family, though.
Right.
I mean,
some of us. Don't forget Mother's Day.
Right.
Don't forget Christmas presents.
That's if you're not from a toxic family. Then, if you're from a good family, then that would be a great idea. But let's say someone comes after you, you still have that X on your head of that lien or whatever it is they go that where they're like, we want our money.
Right.
That judgment. They could still get a judgment against you, and you still have that on you, and you can't do anything on your own.
They could get a judgment, but a lot of times once they see that, they don't want to go through the hassle because how's the attorney make money?
Okay.
They need to actually have that money come into their client's bank account so they could take 30% of it or whatever their cut is. So if an attorney sees that there's a family limited partnership that has all the assets, or if somebody has an offshore trust already, it's going to be pretty hard for the person suing you to find an attorney that even wants to take that case.
Right. Okay. So that's one. That's awesome. Thank you. Great information. So you're telling me that the first way is to get some sort of limited trust, LLC. It may or may not be family, but in your case, it's family, but it could just be an LLC, right?
It could, as long as the other members are people that have your best interests in mind.
Right.
And so, and if you tell them, hey, let's not sell this property or whatever the asset is, and they're on your side in case there's a judgment against you or a lawsuit, then you're okay. It just happens to be most people use their family members.
Okay. And so you have asset protection, and you have what are some other ways to protect your assets?
Well, another great way, there's a chapter in it in my book. It's called Becoming the Bank. But you could actually buy life insurance products that are cash value life insurance products. Some people call it equity index life insurance products. So this isn't the type of life insurance where you buy it so that when you die, your family gets a ton of money. You actually don't want the benefit to be very big. You just want it to be the value of it to be based off the cash value. So why is this interesting? Let's say you have $50,000 after tax dollars sitting in your account.
Right.
Well, why not put it into this type of life insurance plan where they can actually guarantee that it never goes below zero, but never goes above 8% return. So it's making money, but you can also take a loan against it to buy property. So if you want to get a loan to buy a rental and you need the 20% down, you could borrow from your life insurance policy.
You could be your own bank.
And now, not only that, so the money is making money in your life insurance policy, and it's also making money in the real estate. So you're kind of double dipping on your cash.
I need to know more people like you. You know, the people you are around, the 5 people that you're around the most, you become like them. And I want to become like Dr. Amir. He is so smart.
You got my cell phone. So
I've got his cell phone and everything. I know where he lives, and I'm going to read this book. You guys get this book on Amazon. Make It, Keep It by Dr. Amir Baluch. Thank you so much for watching the show today. I will see you next Sunday, bright and shiny. Have a great week.
You've been listening to The Jenna Ryan Show on Talk Radio 1190 AM. For more information, contact Jenna through Facebook or email at jennaryanrealty@gmail.com. Join us again next time on Talk Radio 1190 AM for The Jenna Ryan Show.
In small towns and big cities around the world, Habitat for Humanity volunteers gather. Hammers are raised, bricks are laid, and another family finds shelter in a home they help build. Habitat volunteers are changing lives for the better, and in the process, maybe even their own as well. Support the work in your community or wherever your heart leads you. Volunteer, get involved, and help build it. Visit us at habitat.org.
Texting while driving can be as dangerous as drinking and driving. Put your phone away. A message from the Texas Department of Transportation. Talk, text, crash.
KFXR, Dallas, Fort Worth. Talk Radio 1190. An iHeartRadio station.